So today I will be kind of showing a video of my model in action and kind of show how it works. So first off, starting off, because we're showing the absorption of nutrients in the digestive system. So what we're going to start with is the stomach. In the stomach, foods, we'll consider this bunch of cups, we'll call this food. They go through the stomach. So they're in the stomach right now, and then they break down into three different groups. The three main nutrients we're talking about today, at least, which are, if I can get them out, carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. So after they go through, after the stomach breaks them down with digestive enzymes and acids, they then go through our small intestine, which I have created right here. And this is the bulk portion, the focus of the model that the students will be creating. Mine is just a piece of cardboard with some duct tape on it, and some more cardboard and tape and just some labeling. So up top we have the jejunum, which is the top part of the small intestine, and then we have the ileum, which is the bottom part. And then these little cardboard pieces here are the villi, which are what increase the surface area of absorption for these nutrients that go through. And in the small intestine, there are these nutrients that we're talking about, fats, carbs, and proteins, are dissolved in this jejunum and in the ileum with enzyme-rich juices that break them down, and they break them down into their constituents, which for carbohydrates, your constituent is glucose. So these red pieces, these red M&Ms are glucose. For proteins, they are amino acids. That's what we're going to call these yellow pieces. And then for fats, we're talking about fatty acids and glycerol, which are the blue and orange pieces. That's why they're separated. Once those are broken down, once these, nutrients are dissolved and broken down into these constituents, they are then absorbed in this small intestine. Again, this doesn't look like a small intestine necessarily, but I'm trying to put it on display and model it as much as I can. So basically, they're poured down, and they fall down, and they kind of stick. So they get absorbed, because of the increasing amount of surface area of these villi. So we're kind of pouring them, and they stick. So these are then absorbed in the small intestine. After they are absorbed, they actually go into the bloodstream. That's why the back of my model is labeled. And then when they go into the bloodstream, they flow through, and then they go to the different cells of the body and feed them these nutrients. Anything that is, a nutrient that cell needs goes into the cell, and anything that is waste comes back out and back into the bloodstream. And that's kind of how unhealthy things can happen to humans and stuff like that when you think about unhealthy foods and nutrients, in quote, that are absorbed. So then after this, after these are absorbed, obviously we're not just eating carbs, fats, and proteins. So those are the three things we're focusing on. But to kind of further your understanding and further what I'm modeling, we also have the large intestine, which is the next step. That is where waste and stuff goes, and anything else. That's where stool is produced, basically. That's what we're kind of the main focus of the large intestine itself. So here we're talking about waste. Well, not necessarily waste is what we're calling it, but things that are left over from this. So like water, fiber, and dead cells and stuff like that. What will produce stool? So this goes right through and isn't absorbed. So what I'm using for this is just water. And you can see that it goes through the small intestine, pours right down, and eventually it makes its way into the large intestine itself. So there you go. And again, that is where stool is produced. So that is my model. Like I said, I do have the stomach, and this is where foods are broken down into their nutrients. And then so like the food, like fats, carbs, and proteins, that's where they become, obviously, are broken apart. And then in the small intestine, that's where these enzyme-rich juices break these carbs, fats, proteins down into fatty acids, glycerol, amino acids, and glucose. And then they're absorbed in the small intestine itself, absorbed into the bloodstream, and then distributed throughout to the cells. And then after that, any leftover waste makes its way to the large intestine. So that's my model. Thank you very much.